Hello and welcome to the UK and Ireland Minnesota Vikings Fan Club podcast. I am your host and fan club co-president, Big Deal Rich, and I am joined tonight by two fan club amigos, show producer and co-president, Mr. Reece Field, and content lead and all-round nice guy, Mr. Tom Perry Jones. Say hello, gentlemen.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hello, gentlemen, indeed. I apologise in advance for my voice. I am still recovering from the flu, which also means that I
that
missed
was a character from Beauty and the Beast.
Pepe Le Flu. I managed to miss the game last night, so I have. This is me.
Some president
up.
you are.
No, this is me catching up to understand what happened. Yeah, I'm going to get a play-by-play knee-jerk reaction from you two guys a bit later. We're going to go around the grounds. So I don't think anyone really knows still who's good or bad in the NFL this year. So we'll see what crazy scores happened this weekend. We'll do some knee-jerk reactions. Boy done good, boy done bad in our game versus the Cowboys. And then we have got our final road game of the season next week against the Giants. Let's get some score predictions and understand what we want, what we need coming out of that game. Who's going to go around the grounds? Reece, is it you?
Shotgun not.
My turn this week.
Let's do it.
So, the Atlanta Falcons, Kirk Cousins showing up in primetime on Thursday Night Football to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, sending them to a fifth consecutive loss of the season. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers still top the NFC South. Makes sense of that. The Cleveland Browns were woeful against the Chicago Bears, losing 3 points to 31, eliminating our Vikings from the playoffs. The Cincinnati Bengals decided to be the team to get shut out this week, losing 24-zip to the Baltimore Ravens. The Arizona Cardinals and Houston Texans put on a visually pleasing box score, a score of 40-20 in favor of Houston. The New York Jets again lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars, who have continued to look good, which is just, I can't understand the league this season. But the Jets still found someone else to fire instead of Aaron Glenn, so they sacked their defensive coordinator this morning.
I bet they get a pick next week. They've gone 14 games without an interception, which is an NFL record.
Oh, the Jets or the Giants?
Going back to the Jets.
Oh, yeah.
They've 14 games without a pick. That they share that record with the 49ers for the most games without an interception. Since records began in 1940. The actual record is from 1920. There was a team that went 139 games without an interception, stretching from 1920 to 1932.
Wow. The Jets.
Anyway, carry on.
Anyway, yep. Yeah, we're only 6 games in. A tough one if you are a neutral fan of the sport. This one, LA Chargers 16, Chiefs 13, but Kansas City's star quarterback Patrick Mahomes going down with an ACL injury. Going to rule him out probably for a considerable amount of next season. Not what you like to see just as a fan of the sport. However, things you like to see as a fan of the sport, Buffalo versus New England, fantastic game of football, 35-31, now bites down to the very end. Fantastic game. I suggest watching that one back if you get a chance in the week. The Washington Commanders, they bounced back from their shutout by scoring 29 points against our next opponents, beating the New York Giants 29-21. The Las Vegas Raiders also chose to get shut out this week, but that shouldn't be a surprise because they're terrible. They lost 31-0 to the Philadelphia Eagles. Another rough one again if you're just a fan of good football, good players. Micah Parsons going down, another ACL injury. Green Bay Packers falling to the Denver Broncos, who beat a respectable opponent for the first time this season, I want to say. The Detroit Lions continue to falter and stumble their way towards the playoffs, losing 34-41 against the number 1 seed LA Rams. The Carolina Panthers lost 17-20 against New Orleans Saints because that team makes no sense. Philip Rivers, so nearly, but he scored too soon. 16 points to 18, the loss to Seattle. The Tennessee Titans fell 24-37 to the San Francisco 49ers. We're going to come to our score, which brings us to Monday Night Football, which if you haven't been punished enough as a NFL fan this weekend, you've now got to part with Miami versus Pittsburgh.
Scott prediction.
This is going to be ugly, hard to watch. 13 points to 17 in favor of Pittsburgh.
Wow. So it's starting to become ever so slightly clearer. So we know the Jets are terrible and we know the Raiders are terrible. So that is nailed on. Those two are absolutely terrible. The Titans also probably, definitely terrible. So we've got three absolutely dreadfully terrible teams. The Cowboys are no longer good, so that's good. The New Orleans Saints might have found a quarterback, maybe. The Buffalo Bills might be good again. There was a few games because I did have to go to bed early, and I watched a couple of the earlier games. The Buffalo game was good. The Patriots looked killer in the first half, and then Buffalo looked better in the second half, which is I'm going to enjoy seeing that division play out for the rest of the last 4 games of the season. The Rams look pretty good. They're my pick, I think, at the moment. If you had to pick someone to win the Super Bowl today, I'd go with the Stafford and the Rams, even though Adams looks like he has probably ended his season with a hamstring injury, which is unfortunate. And everyone else is sort of middle of the pack. Did Joe Burrows actually play in that shutout at the weekend against the Ravens?
I think
you wouldn't be able to tell, would you? Yeah, I believe he did.
Wow. Which is even more surprising, for a guy that says he just wants to enjoy football again and then gets shut out by the Ravens, who are not good. It's just a bit of a weird season. The Chargers might be a bit of a I don't know. Are the Chargers good? Are they just well coached? I don't know. I refuse to believe that the Broncos are good. They beat a very misfiring Philly squad in Philadelphia. But yeah, my pick. If you had to pick a Super Bowl winner today, who are you picking? I'm going with the Rams.
I hate agreeing with you, but I think the Rams at the AFC. Everyone's going, oh yeah, this team's really good and this team's really good. But I look at it, I'm thinking, yeah, but your number 1 seed is the Denver Broncos, and they've beaten no one. There's the Chicago Bears of the AFC still, in my opinion.
Exactly. Agree.
So yeah, I go with the Rams. I think they're still the pick of the bunch.
TP and J, which one are you going with?
I'm still picking the Vikings.
I think that's impossible.
You're forgetting that I met up with the commissioner in Berlin a few weeks ago, and
the rules have now changed.
All I'm saying is watch this space.
Okay, that is
I genuinely though. Who's gonna win the Super Bowl? The Denver Broncos are looking very, very good this season. I mean, it could easily be a Broncos-Rams Super Bowl. I think we can probably safely say it's not going to be Steelers-Buccaneers.
I don't really get the Bucs. They managed to get Evans
those
back
two teams
and be worse.
Those two teams are leading their divisions with negative point differentials.
Wow. Yeah, and the Dolphins have won games. So
wow.
Yeah, and I refuse to believe the Bears are good. Is it? I struggle with our division because obviously
best division in football, mate.
I don't like the Lions, and I don't like the Packers, and I don't like the Bears. So I think
you were going to say I don't like the Vikings. Then,
well, sometimes.
Only when he
attends. I don't like the Lions. I don't like the Packers. I don't like the Bears. I don't like the Vikings.
But I think it's whatever's going to be the funniest scenario now. So I think if the Bears don't make the playoffs, that's probably the most hilarious thing that would happen this year.
No, I think the Bears being the only team from the NFC North making the playoffs is a heck of a lot funnier.
That would be a lot more funny.
Okay. Okay.
Seeing a Lions team who've been really good the last couple of years come third in the division would be quite funny.
They're limping aren't they?
Yeah, but then also the Packers missing out, that would be hilarious to me as well.
I think
they haven't looked like a playoff team all season, I don't think.
None of us have.
The thing is, the Vikings got eliminated from the playoffs and then responded by eliminating the Dallas Cowboys from the playoff.
Almost. They're not officially out, but yeah,
I think they are officially. I think they are eliminated now.
No, not yet. They have a very, very slim. I think they have to, if they win out and the Eagles lose out, then the Cowboys can get in.
Likely scenario. I mean,
probably not going to happen. But you think we've pretty much put the nail in the coffin of the Cowboys. We could put the nail in the coffin of the Lions and the nail in the coffin of the Packers. Now, I like it. It's like what the Cowboys did. The Lions did to us when Dan Campbell took over. It's like, well, we know we're not going to make it to the playoffs, but we don't want them to make it either. So we're going to try and beat them. I like that.
Was that Jared attitude. Goff's first win for the Lions? Was that one? I think so, maybe. Anyway, yeah. I mean, it brings us almost like we know what we're doing. Brings us nicely on to our game from the weekend. You'll notice that I'm still rocking my JJ McCarthy whiteout jersey, Bank Stadium purchase. TPJ,
can't even get the name of our stadium right.
I am still very.
You are so ill.
TPJ, I'm coming to you because I don't have any knee-jerk reaction to the game. I've got a knee-jerk reaction to our situation, but not the game because I didn't watch it. TPJ, knee-jerk reaction, and as an individual who was unfortunate enough to miss the game, what should I know about what happened last night?
Oh, you think I watched the game?
Yeah, well, I hope you did. One of us has got to have.
I missed it live.
Okay.
I watched the game. Watched the game in 40 this morning, and it was. I regret not having stayed up because I was up until like 1:10 this morning.
Ooh.
I went to bed at 1:10, and I was still getting notifications of what was going on, and I saw that we'd thrown a pick on our second play of the game, and thought, oh well, that's JJ McCarthy's pumpkined himself again. And then I saw the game in 40, and I thought, oh, actually, that's not too bad. Like he's not actually. Obviously, he's thrown it right at the hands of a defender jumping up in the air with his hands in the air. And then batted the ball himself into the hands of a waiting defender who intercepted it. But he's not done much wrong. Like, he's tried to do all the right things. He still looks like he looks like Bambi on ice out there when he's like limbs flailing around trying to throw the football. Like, have you seen the way he kicks his leg through when he's really putting an effort ball?
So I'm not dead to the world. I have watched a little bit on social media today, and one thing I did appreciate was the commentator from I think it was ESPN that had the game last night.
Collinsworth. Yeah, now here's a guy.
Yeah, I think NBC. It's always Sunday Night Football's NBC. It was okay. Collinsworth, yeah.
And this all we've heard for the past 10 weeks is motion and his inability to keep his feet where they're supposed to be, and blah 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 blah. And I'm not a quarterback, not an NFL quarterback, better than Justin Fields, but not an NFL quarterback. And so a lot of this sort of motion and progression, all that sort of stuff, I have to really concentrate to understand what they mean and what's going on. I did think that he had by far the best explanation of what was going on with his motion last night in this. If he puts a bit of a touch on it for a 5-10 yard ball over the middle to Hawkinson, he keeps his feet nice and, shoulder width apart, throws off his back foot, has a bit of a drag, all looks very pretty. And then all of a sudden he gets really excited, and it's like he's like a bucking bronco. His right leg goes for a wander. And I never really noticed it before, but like I say, the commentator last night explained it magnificently, so even the dullard such as me could understand what was going on.
So how do you what do you make of his best throw of the game then, the touchdown to Naylor, where he's running the wrong way, throwing effectively across his body, his right leg's going crazy, and he puts it somewhere only the receiver can catch it. I think I've had enough of this footwork.
I think we've got a franchise quarterback, boys.
It's like I look at it, I'm thinking, okay, it might not be right and it might not be pretty, But if it works, why are we trying to fix it? I've never been able to hold a pen. Like, I look at myself and I think I've never been able to hold a pen properly. I was never taught how to hold a pen properly in primary school. They tried to correct my grip. Every time they tried to correct my grip, my handwriting became completely illegible. You couldn't read it. It was a piece of crap. I get cramp in my hands. I couldn't go for a school day and hold a pen like that. So I went back to holding it wrong. It reminds me of JJ McCarthy's feet. His feet are completely wrong. They shouldn't be doing what they're doing, but somehow you just let him be all happy feet and he completes passes. Whereas when you're going, JJ, look at your feet, and it's going feet, incomplete. Or feet intercepted. It's just let him be JJ is what I'd say. Just forget the feet. Just try and work on him seeing the right stuff, because he seems to be able to put it in the right spot now, despite a few balls sailing last night.
That said, it might be a case of having to take one step back to take two steps forward, to use a footwork metaphor. In that, I remember about 15, 20 years ago, James Anderson, the England cricketer, he came into the England team and his bowling action was quite erratic. It was uncontrolled. He went away and fixed it over a winter. Came back and he's now England's best ever fast bowler. He's like the best fast bowler of all time, most wickets in international cricket. And maybe that's what JJ McCarthy has to do. Like you kind of have to break him down, build him back up again to make him into the quarterback that we want him to be. I mean, he's showing signs that maybe we won't have to do that, but there is precedent for having to really completely tear down an athlete to the bare bones before they'll be the athlete they're supposed to be.
But to counter that, you look at he's the youngest QB in the league. You look at the oldest QB in the league. Philip Rivers has effectively thrown the ball underarm. Still works.
I watched him last night, and I was like, I don't think he can throw the ball. I think he shoves the ball really well. So he just sort of like
don't make him throw it 40 yards through the air.
And what, JJ or Rivers?
Rivers, it just wasn't. It's just that's not a throw. I refuse. That's not a throwing of a football.
Shot put.
There was a screen pass to Jonathan Taylor. And I looked at him thinking, that is the longest I've ever seen a screen pass take to get to a receiver.
It was. I mean, incredible to watch. Old man Rivers at 44-year-old, nearly beating the Seahawks, who are terrible now. That'd have been some story. But back to our game. Like I say, the meager highlights that I have seen on social media throughout the day seem to suggest that because I really did try and stay up when he threw that first pick on the first drive. I went, yep, this is me now. I'm going to bed. So I cashed out pretty early in the game, just so that I'd be actually a functioning adult today. And like I say, some of the social media clips that I've seen today, though, he threw an absolute blinder over the middle to Hawkinson. Is it? I suppose I'll get onto it a bit later. Reece, I want your knee-jerk reaction to the game first, because I think there's some stuff to unpick here.
Well, like Tom, I kind of fell asleep. I didn't make it. I didn't make it to kick off. I had a couple of drinks. We put a Christmas movie on. I thought I'm just going to relax, and then I fell asleep towards the end of the Grinch. And then I woke up in the morning, and I looked at my phone. So my knee-jerk reaction is very much, "Oh, blimmin' heck, we won that." Wow. Because I wasn't expecting it at all. I mean, to be honest, I think I had a dream last night where I was in one of our group chats and we were all joking about, it couldn't possibly be worse. And then someone said, oh yeah, JJ, we put 6 points up against the Cowboys. And I woke up thinking that's an entirely realistic possibility. And then here we are. We're now winning games. Now the pressure is effectively off. I wonder if that's my only other knee jerk. Is it because the pressure's off? We're out of the playoff contention. Has this freed this team up to play the way it should, or have we just had an epiphany too late?
And that's nail on head for me, Reece. This epiphany too late, which is really frustrating because we said at the beginning of the season, as long as JJ McCarthy is a serviceable quarterback, this team, the players around him, the defense that we've got, the defense coaching scheme that we've got, we will be all right and we will probably make the playoffs. And there's been games this season where if you look back now and think, if he wasn't trying to correct his mechanics and his footwork and just concentrating on letting the boy play the game, we'd have had a much better chance at winning those games. And a few of those, I mean, the Falcons at home, for example, he looks like a rabbit in the headlights because Kevin O'Connell, I believe, is a perfectionist and a stubborn perfectionist, which is great when you've got someone who can perfectly play the game. But he looks so disappointed, even when he was making good throws and his leg does that kick out thing. You think he just enjoy the fact that he's made a completion. Don't look at his mechanics. You can fix that later. And again, coming back to the commentary team last night, I thought they were excellent in saying that in Josh Allen's first season, he had almost an identical motion. It's almost like a pitcher's throw off your front foot, kick your leg out, and whang the ball as hard as you possibly can to wherever you need it to go. That's how JJ McCarthy throws the ball at the moment.
Yeah.
What the good thing about it is that he makes good decisions. It's not his decision making, in-game decision making, and his in-game progressions is not the thing that needs to be fixed. He makes a decent amount of decisions. When he's trying to be over mechanicked and make those decisions at the same time, that's when he looks like a terrible quarterback. But for the past 2 games, it looks like Kevin O'Connell's just said, just play the ball, play the game how you like to play it. We can fix that later. Just make sure you make some good decisions. He said as much as that in an interview.
Overthinking is always going to be his JJ McCarthy's worst enemy, because apparently I didn't even know this until maybe a week or so ago. He's diagnosed ADHD. So when you're giving him too many things to think about rather than just letting him wang it around, God, that's a horrible turn of phrase. But yeah, he's a better quarterback when he's able to just throw rather than think about throwing.
Yeah. And like I say, we can fix the mechanics in the off-season if we really need to. Put him into a few preseason games, get him on the practice field and say, look, even band his legs together and say, your legs don't move out of this formation. You can do that sort of stuff when you've got the luxury of being able to do it. But surely you should know going into the season that his mechanics aren't right. And if you're trying to force him to think about his mechanics rather than just play the game, that's just the wrong way around of thinking about things.
I think when we first saw McCarthy in preseason last year, he was playing under very little pressure, and we were actually winning those games, or at least in the bits where he was playing. Yeah, but the bits that he was playing, he looked decent. He didn't need to be overanalyzed, and now he's in actual competitive game situations. We're forgetting he played his first professional start in the regular season 3 months ago.
7 games?
Yeah. I was there. It was and also we won that game. It didn't need overanalyzing, and now we've got a sample size of 7 or 8 games. There is more to analyze. And you're always going to be under more scrutiny in the pros than you were in college.
Yeah, of course. And I do think what it means is that we have to go back to the question of, is JJ McCarthy going to play under center for the Vikings next season? And if he's making the decisions that I've seen him make for the past few games and what is going to be an infinitely easier roster, I don't see why not. I see the schedule as being fairly friendly to him. Bit like it has been for Caleb Williams this year. Caleb Williams looked dreadful last year, and to be fair, he looks dreadful again this year when he's trying to pass the ball. But he's got 10 wins because Johnson has just managed to get 2 really good running backs covering their deficiencies within their game.
Sometimes you don't know what you've got until you've actually put them into a situation, and you don't know what you've got, or you haven't got a big enough sample size until deep enough into the season that you can't really make any more changes to your roster. You've built a roster around what you think you've got, and it turns out you've got something else. And so we're kind of having to muddle through now based on what we actually have in JJ McCarthy, not what we thought we had, and all the other additions that we had. The defensive line that we've had to work around. The secondary's been bobbins all year. So we'll be doing the same again this coming off season. We'll be trying to improve the areas where we're deficient now, and we won't know we've done a good job until we've played a few games. You want your scouts and your general manager to be as up on things as they can be, but you can have the best scouts in the world, but you don't know how someone's going to pan out until you actually put them in.
I get that. And Reece, you weren't here when we asked this question a couple of weeks ago, but we've got circa 10 draft picks coming up next year. Would you trust Kwesi with those picks?
I trust him most to trade all the day 2 picks, because that seems to be what Kwesi does. I don't know, because here's the thing. We look at the draft class from last year. McCarthy started to come good. Dallas Turner, again, made a fantastic play last night, running down someone on the screen. It's just about these late round picks. We seem to think that every late round pick is going to turn into... Try and think of a recent example of a successful late round pick. Probably the most recent late success we've had late round is Cam Bynum.
Levi Drake Rodriguez.
Rotational.
Good.
I mean, rotational. Yeah, I mean, it's working rotation. I think he's also helped by having 2 big money veterans that demand game time. It keeps him fresh. But yeah, I get that, and I don't know if we've seen enough to think that these picks are going to be successful. I think it's because there's so many of them are late rounders. But what do you expect at late round? I'd be looking at these guys and go, all right, who for me is going to be able to do a job on special teams? In some of these late rounders, who these guys are going to compete and maybe force some of these borderline veterans to step up a bit more. You look at the offseason, our best off-season acquisition this year is probably Eric Wilson, and he was brought in to be a rotational linebacker. So I'm not sold on Kwesi. I think the early picks, I think he'll be fine. But when we get into the 3rd round, I'm just not sure. I'm not sure is probably the best way of saying it.
Yeah, I think keep it simple, stupid in the early rounds. Take the obvious pick rather than trying to trade back from Lewis Seen. That sort of stuff
BPA,
is
yeah, best player available.
Yeah, because in terms of what we need as a team next year, we definitely need a safety. It's been really fun to watch Harrison Smith these past couple of games come to life again, and he will get a hero's ovation for his last game against the Packers, but he's not playing football for us next year or at all next year.
Can't see it. Can't see it. I mean, that's it. It's like, but he does this. He goes, Harrison Smith, he's passed it. The first 8 games of the season, all of a sudden he just comes alive because Flores just goes, well, Harry, do you want some sacks? And just puts him up at the line of scrimmage to mess with quarterbacks.
Although he missed an interception last night, that I think he would want that one back. But
yeah, I know. I was hoping he'd get a couple more. Going to be harder now. Mind you, we play the Giants next week, and they're a mess at quarterback. I don't know. We said, don't mess about, don't trade back. We didn't do that last draft with Donovan Jackson, and that looks like a pick that's coming good. I mean, I know we'll talk about the O-line later, but maybe, just go, okay, these are our needs, cornerback and safety, and the best player available at that position in the first round, when we come to when the clock is on us, we're taking that player, and that's got to be the way we go about drafting.
I love Aaron Jones, but there's only so many times he can get injured in the season, so...
I think Jordan Mason's fine. I think Jordan Mason sort of needs to be more of a feature back. He just needs to improve that pass blocking a little bit. And
I get it. And I think they're both pass block well. They both run the ball well. These past few games that we've seen, that they're a good 1-2 punch. But if you look at the hot teams in the NFL, with the running backs that they've got, they're all young, out the draft, explosive running backs. A-Chain, Gibbs, Irving,
Bijan Robinson.
But
these are first round. These are first round talents. These guys who got these guys go in the first round, and people don't think
But what
running backs should go in the first round anymore. Like that's the thing. Like you're finding someone who is a super freak athlete.
Well, at the moment, it looks like we're going to be drafting probably around 15, maybe bang middle. If we win another couple of games.
By-year Vikings draft pick, though, isn't it? You know, one year in the mid-20s, 1 year in the mid-teens.
Yeah, I think we're currently 12th.
I don't know. Do you take a safety if you were picking 15th? I don't think you could pick a safety at 15th. There's got to be a skill position, and we've got a fair amount of wide receivers.
I'm just going to say,
I think if someone of
the
I was going to say, if someone of the caliber of Kyle Hamilton comes up at 12, which is I think where we're going to be, or as things stand, we're at 12. You absolutely take someone of that caliber.
Yeah, let's see how it pans out. Again, if I'm still of the opinion that I don't massively trust Kwesi with our draft picks next year. I'd be interested to see how that situation pans out. And as much as I love Kevin O'Connell, I think there's still a question over whether he would be calling plays and whether his offensive coordinator
he will never give that up.
Which if he doesn't, again, ideal scenario for B-Flow is for him to step into the head coach's position and we get a really dynamic offensive coordinator that calls plays.
It's never going to happen. I think you're still having some fever dreams, Rich. That's never going to happen.
I mean, he's climbed down off his horse and started to play. He started to call JJ McCarthy games for the past few weeks, which has been much, much better. But you can almost tell that he hates doing it. He doesn't look comfortable. I mean, when he did his winner's speech in the locker last night, he was like, it still matters. And no, didn't we play great? Not my football, but it was great, and I'll let you know it was good to win. Not the way I like to win, but it was good. It didn't feel like he wanted to.
I mean, how much of that was the way they played last night, which I thought was excellent. They did stretch the film. We probably need to get on to Boyd Unbad at some point. But I mean, a lot of that was probably also, well, guys, we won, but we know it's not going to go anywhere. So let's just enjoy the games we've got left as this unit because end of the season, some of these guys are going to retire. Some of these guys are going to find themselves out of the league.
Yeah.
Just happens.
Ivan Pace Jr. is cautious, I think, in the off season. Anyway, TPJ, I'm coming to you first. Boyd done good. Right. Boyd done bad from last night.
I am going to go with let's start with my boys done bad because I've picked a couple of guys for bad, and my picks are our two running backs because I think we lent on them a lot last night, and that was the right thing to do. Like leaning on the running game was important with controlling the clock and controlling the pace of the game. But they only managed like less than 3 yards per carry between them, Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason. JJ McCarthy was the best runner in terms of yards per attempt, but Jones and Mason only managed a total of 63 yards on 24 carries, or 22 carries rather. And I don't think that was good enough against a team that actually is one of the worst run defense teams in the league in Dallas right now. So I don't think they did well enough for my money.
Interesting, considering we've just been praising our play calling for switching up to a run heavy game. No,
I think the play calling is a different beast altogether. I just don't think that the production was there from the running backs. But I think that Dallas knew that they had a deficiency there and they knew that we could punish them. So maybe they focused a little bit more on defending our run. We still picked up yards where we needed to. There was a couple of key first downs that were picked up on the ground. But also there was a couple of moments where we actually, in short yardage run situations, we missed out on picking up a first down. And you had to run it up the gut again to get it over the line. And I just think, as you say, I think we do need a proper blue chip running back maybe next season, or at least someone who can replace Aaron Jones.
Imagine that, me being right. Let's move swiftly on before someone passes
imagine
out.
That.
Goodness, yeah.
What about you?
Doesn't happen very often. Shall we pop the champagne for you?
What about your boy done good?
My boy done good. I'm going to go for the entire offensive line, but with a special praise for Justin School,
Wow.
because he had to step in for Christian Darrisaw. Darrisaw wasn't, I don't think he was even questionable for the game going into last night. But we ended up making him inactive for the game. I think more to do with the fact that he is still carrying a knee injury, and with the Bears winning, they just didn't want to. You don't want to risk your star left tackle. But for School to come in, and then the entire offensive line doesn't give up a single sack, which is only the second time that's happened all year. The last time being against the Bears about 3 weeks ago. I think that it is a very laudable performance, Justin School, for a guy who has actually underperformed since we brought him in. It was good to see him step in and do a good job.
Yeah, you've got to call him out when they do well. We call him out enough times when he's done terribly badly. So if he's going to play well, Reece, I think you were so shocked at TPJ potentially thinking that I'd said something correct. You left us for a second there, but nice to have you back. I'm coming straight to you for boy done good, boy done bad.
Yeah, it's not because I want to be physically sick at him praising Justin School. No, the limits of the webcam caught me out there, which is why the illusion has now been broken. We're not all in the same room with the same background. Oh dear. Yeah, I mean, you can only beat what's in front of you, which is probably why the offensive line might have looked quite good, because the Cowboys have no pass rush. But they still managed to make our running backs look bad. So yeah, I mean, great picks by Tom. My boy done. I'm going to go boy done good first, which is, I mean, if you need 2 yards, he'll get you 3 yards. If you need 1 yard, he'll get you 3 yards. And if you need 1 yard for 1 touchdown, then he'll get you 1 yard for 1 touchdown. CJ Ham. It's been boy done good, not just because he had 1 touchdown, 1 carry, but also I think a big part of the transformation that we've seen in the last couple of weeks is the involvement of CJ Ham more often, getting in there as a lead blocker. I mean, he threw 1 block in the game that the commentators stopped mid-play to effectively all praise the fullback. I mean, I love it. I love fullback play. I feel like the position is dying, but it's still desperately needed in the NFL if you want to be successful. Teams are running more these days, and the best way to run is by putting a guy in there who just wants to headbutt linebackers, and that's CJ Ham. So yeah, CJ Ham is my boy done good. Just a big cornerstone of the turnaround this offense has made.
Good to hear. Use him more. That's what I say.
Yeah, there's not many active fullbacks in the league, and CJ Ham, I think if you want to get a last minute Pro Bowl vote in, CJ Ham might be your one for the NFC's fullback. Is Kyle Juszczyk still playing for the 49ers? I mean, he's obviously he would obviously be the obvious pick because he's so high profile, but is he still playing?
I couldn't tell you.
I couldn't tell you. Fair enough.
This is the thing with fullbacks these days. The last fullback I remember that wasn't Kyle Juszczyk or CJ Ham was it Pat Reichard of the Ravens, and I'm pretty sure he's not played for 2-3 years.
There was him. But then there's also we had Jerome Felton a couple of years ago. I really liked him as a lead blocker for Adrian Peterson in Peterson's last couple of years for the Vikings. He was very very good.
We seem to be the fullback factory because then it was CJ Ham, then Corey Blasingame of whatever it is. He went
Corey Blasingame, yeah. We had
he went on to play for other teams after being on our practice squad. So
all right, nerds, stop nerding out over fullbacks.
Well,
Tom and I are just
going to sit for the remaining 20 minutes of the show and just name fullbacks.
Boy done
Zach
back.
Line.
What's the Watt brother? I forget his name now. Not TJ. You got TJ Watt. You got JJ Watt. Who was one who played Derek? Was it Derek Watt?
DJ.
Not DJ.
Not DJ, no. Anyway, yeah, sorry. Boy done bad.
Oh yeah.
Feels like nitpicking this. However, something's got to change.
Oh, what about now Fahu Tahi? He was great.
Oh, okay. Maybe we don't need to check. Maybe we can just go back to that so I don't have to nitpick at Justin Jefferson, who is my boy done bad. 2 catches for 22 yards off of 8 targets. Now, some of those targets sailed. He did also have a touchdown called back for an offensive penalty. But at the same time, I look at it and just go, yeah. There was another one at the back of the end zone, hit him in the hands, and I'm sorry, I know late hands are coached, but you are Justin Jefferson. You need to start catching these laser beams that are coming your way, because other guys are doing it now, and I don't know, because maybe he needs to get on the jugs machine and turn it out to 11 this week. I don't know why it's not working with him and McCarthy, but as much as we're praising the game plans and saying this has got better, 2 receptions for 8 yards, 2 receptions for 22 yards, 30 yards, 4 catches in 2 weeks. Not good enough. I mean, we could even if you throw in the Max Brosma game, I think what is that? It's now 34 yards, 6 catches in 3 weeks. These are not the numbers. These are not 40 million pound receiving numbers. I don't think it's his fault entirely. I mean, he is running a lot of coverage off of other receivers. I think the success of Jalen Naylor these last couple of games have been because Jefferson is running routes that are taking away other guys. I mean, they made comment to it, I think, on one of Naylor's bigger gains of the game. They said McCarthy, he's looking at Jefferson and he's throwing it to Naylor. That's part of it. But I think as the veteran, he's got to do more to make this work with McCarthy, because he's here to stay. We can and ah over, are we going to do something to keep Naylor this offseason? Is Jordan Addison going to be traded because we need some capital, because we know we're going to get expensive? These are things that have to be discussed, but Justin Jefferson is here to stay. And so something's got to start clicking between him and McCarthy.
Yeah, I like that Jefferson's been very professional the whole time. Like you could see the frustration creeping in the last few weeks, but now that we've got a couple of wins under our belt, it has sort of faded back. He is going about his business properly now. He got a bit chippy on one play last night, but it was reasonable because I think it was unnecessary roughness against the defender. But every time there was a drop, every time the ball sailed on him and he couldn't get his hands to it, he didn't like slam his fist into the turf. He didn't like start jawing at his teammates. He's just jogging back to the huddle. Like you just got to get on with the next play. And that's what I've always liked about Justin Jefferson. He has such a professional attitude for a guy who could easily be a proper diva. And he dresses and acts like one off the field, but on the field, he's a consummate professional.
Yeah, I think this is why it's quite hard to criticize Justin Jefferson. But
I feel bad for him.
I do.
I find myself watching the game. I find watching the game in 40 earlier today, and going, I'm sad for Justin Jefferson because I want him. He's our star player, and he's not getting the stats to back up the obvious talent that he has.
I think that this is the issue, because this season, 2 touchdowns, 832 yards. He needs 168 yards in the remaining 3 games to get to 1,000 yards, which he's had in every single season of his career to date.
Even a season where he only played 10 games. He still got to 1,000 yards.
He'll still hit 1,000 yards. Also, that was with half the season being thrown at by Josh Dobbs and Nick Mullins. Okay, so this is a guy who's shown that the quarterback shouldn't really affect him.
Yeah, I was just going to bring it up because KOC is I think he's called it Mission 160 or something ridiculous, which was to get
don't draw attention to it, boys.
Yeah, well, he doesn't want Justin Jefferson to not hit 1,000-yard season on his watch, was the way that he put it. I think he'll probably get 100 yards against the Giants. Their secondary is fairly terrible, so it'd be good to nip down there and
just like us.
Yeah, gets a little bit closer to that goal. It's weird because JJ McCarthy looks at Naylor and he knows exactly how tall he is. And then he looks at Justin Jefferson and just assumes that he's another foot taller than what he actually is. I don't really understand it. It's an odd one to me. I don't know whether they just need to start having sleepovers and talk about, what their favorite
Talk about boys and kissing
about their
and
favorite sweets are, and just spend a bit more time on the practice. Just grab an extra half an hour at the end of practice. Just wander around throwing the balls to each other. But it'll sort itself out, I'm sure. JJ McCarthy is progressively getting better as a quarterback, and Justin Jefferson is still the best wide receiver in football. So it'll work itself out, I'm sure. But it does progress us nicely into what is going to happen next week against the Giants. I'm expecting a win. It's a 6 o'clock game. My flu might be over completely by then, so I might actually get to watch it, which would be quite nice. It's away from home, which JJ McCarthy seems to play better away from home than at home. Sort of, you could leverage that against him this season. Reece, I'm coming to you first. Score prediction for the game. More importantly, what do you want to see? What do you want to see out of the game?
So I think this is the one that's more difficult. Now, I'm saying this because I hate seeing players struggling to get over injuries. Christian Darrisaw is undoubtedly struggling to get over an injury here. And we're out the playoffs. There's nothing to lose. The offensive line is still playing well enough without him. I would say that Christian Darrisaw needs to sit the rest of the year.
I think he will.
Stay out of it. Do not risk getting hurt. We saw Brian O'Neill go down towards the end of the game. We're hoping he's all right. Just don't take stupid risks with players' health.
Mainly because Justin School can't play both sides of the line at once.
Yeah, and they obviously don't trust Walter Rouse enough at this stage, which maybe is a concern. But again, in a 6th-round draft pick, you got Blake Brandell. He can play anywhere on the line if you need him to. Still, I don't want to see Darrisaw playing, and I think that could make it a little bit tougher for us because the one thing that the New York Giants have on defense is edge rushers. That's all they got. Outside of that, I couldn't name the linebackers. I couldn't name the players in the secondary. But on the edge, they've got some talent. And so I think that's going to make our life a little bit more difficult on offense. Defensively, the Giants haven't looked the same since Scatterbo went down. I think everyone can agree on that. And receiver-wise, they never really had any talent. Their sparks came when Jameis was coming in as a fresh quarterback and giving him signs of life. It's going to be Jackson Dart again, providing he doesn't get concussed or whatever, because that man runs into brick walls like it's going out of fashion. I don't know. I reckon this could be our toughest of the three. I think the last 3 games, it's been leveling up for McCarthy. He's gone from the worst defense in the league in Washington to one that's a bit better in the Cowboys. This week he's playing a defense that, again, is another step up slightly. But in terms of score, probably I reckon we still get quite a few points on the board, probably a couple more field goals. So I'm going for 30 for the Vikings, 3 touchdowns, 3 field goals, and 13 for the Giants. That's a generous 13.
Not bad. Not a bad way to go. Not a bad prediction. I completely agree. I don't think Darrisaw should suit up again until preseason next year. Let's get him totally fit and healthy. TPJ, what are your thoughts?
Well, there's another player who's going to be sitting for the rest of the season. We just heard over the news wire that Jonathan Grenard's going to undergo season-ending shoulder surgery.
Do it now.
It makes sense. We haven't got anything to play for in terms of postseason. If the only thing we can play for is pride by getting off the bottom of the NFC North, which we'll have a better chance of if we as we should beat the New York Giants. I'm not really worried about the draft picks. I don't mind if we win games and go up or go down the draft board, or if we lose
3
games
places in the mid.
Yeah, exactly. It really doesn't matter. the Giants do have some talent on defense. You know, they've still got Dexter Lawrence in the middle of their defensive line. They've got Brian Burns in the linebacker core. But as you say, there's very little.
Edge rusher,
yeah.
Abdul Carter.
Well, yeah, Abdul
and he
Carter
struggled.
as a rookie, but yeah, other than that, they've got nothing. I expect they'll try and mark Justin Jefferson out of the game again, because that's the only thing that you can really do against this Vikings offense right now. Like we're looking good, and against the team that's lost 8 on the bounce, I think we should probably win this game. I'll give you my score prediction now just to get it out of the way. I think the Vikings are going to win 33-10.
33-10. So we're all going fairly decent victory for the Vikings. I'll get my score prediction out of the way first. I do think that we will score fairly freely, if I was honest, against this, what is quite a terrible Giants squad, probably in front of half a stadium's worth of fans. In the cold, though, so maybe I'll go 28-9. I think our defense gets a shut out in terms of touchdowns and restricts them to field goals only. So I'm going to go 28-9. What do I want to see out of the next game? No more injuries, please. I'd like to see Dallas Turner start every game and play really well. I'd also,
he's going to have to now.
Yeah, do you know what
He's playing on.
I'd like to see a bit of scrambling from our JJ McCarthy, because, like you say, if the Giants are going to send some pressure and our O-line is going to be a bit depleted, let's see him moving around. Let's see if we can get some. See if we can get his legs moving and show him what he shows. What
I mean, I don't want to see him scrambling around. I don't want them like flushing him out the pocket and like giving our offensive line a hard time. I want to
when
see
the opportunities there.
I want to see him in the pocket, setting his feet and throwing touch passes to Justin Jefferson on the edge or over the middle for 30-40 yards. Like that's what I want to see. But
if he's running, I want him grittying into the end zone untouched, not diving head first at the hash marks.
He loves it, doesn't he? Loves a head first.
I want him to sell those fakes. I want him to sell fakes so hard that the all 22 camera doesn't have all 22 players in the camera.
That was fantastic. I mean, it was, definitely harder than that. The fact that he was told after doing that exact thing in practice, do not gritty into the end zone, that he still decided to. He's a 22-year-old kid. Let him have fun.
He definitely. I was so worried that he was going to like knock the ball out of his one-handed grip with his knee.
Oh goodness, that would just.
Peak
Vikings. Your peak Vikings. Our quarterback played the season. Can
Browns,
you put it past?
If anything? Goodness me.
Goodness, yeah. No, so maybe Shadur's not a franchise quarterback. I'd like Dallas Turner on the right-hand side, though. I'm just saying. I know it's a damn shame Grenard has to have surgery, but that is Turner's strong side by a long shot. That's the side he rushed off in college. And I think
it's going to be fun to watch, I think.
Every extra snap that lad takes, considering, again, really young player.
Gink gets expensive next year as well, so there's no guarantees.
They'll push that money down the line until Gink's in his 50s. That's the one thing Kwesi is fantastic at, is restructuring contracts. So yeah,
give it the old Shohei Ohtani deal.
I like it. So we've all gone for Vikings victories.
Do you know who Shohei Ohtani is, Rich?
No.
Did he play for Sunderland?
Oh, we didn't mention that.
I was about to throw my hat because we hadn't bought it up.
Look, but yeah, the one time that Sunderland deserve a mention, winning in the Tyne-Wear Derby, and we haven't mentioned it.
The what derby? Sorry,
it's the Tyne-Wear Derby.
It's the Weir Tyne Derby when we're playing.
It's always been the Tyne-Wear Derby.
But if you say Weir Tyne, it just sounds like you're calling us Tyne. It's an odd. Yeah, it's Tyne Wear. It's
Tyne Derby when we're playing at home, and I'll just start remembering it because we are the best team in the Northeast football. How's about that?
The Vikings also need to take a leaf out of Sunderland's book. on the jumbotrons in US Bank Stadium when
Visitors.
playing. They need to make sure the last 2 games, it doesn't say Detroit Lions or Green Bay Packers, just visitors.
It's
Do
so
they do that for every game,
so-
or just when
no.
Newcastle are in town?
We've never done it before in our entire history of our football club, as far as I'm aware. We
Brilliant.
changed the scoreboards midweek to these massive jumbotron things, and we changed it. I mean, it's the level of petty I can definitely get on board.
Love
When
it.
you said the Vikings need to be more like Sunderland, I thought you meant signing aging free agents like Granit Xhaka, which we've already done.
Season, by the way.
Well,
by
yeah,
the
but
way.
Sunderland were copying the Vikings by signing aging free agents like Javon Hargrave and Jonathan Allen, except it's actually worked out for Sunderland.
Yeah, we're pretty good. I didn't want to mention it myself, but yeah, we're pretty good. So I think that pretty much wraps us up. Reece, I'm sure you want to give some information about some stuff that people can do.
Yeah, Just Giving still open for the Purple Pedal, so head to justgiving.com/page/the Purple Pedal to donate there. All proceeds going to Mind, the mental health charity here in the UK. If you want to get in touch with us, then you can do so. Email the podcast, ukvikespod@gmail.com, ukvikespod@gmail.com. For any other way to contact us, well, you're listening to the podcast or you're watching the podcast, so you found us. So check out the link in the bio or in the description or whatever you're listening on. You'll find all the information there. Blue Sky is still a thing, so you can even reach out on there. And even though we don't tweet, you can still reach out to us on X.
Nice, very well put, very succinct. I think the last thing to do then is to probably just say goodbye, gentlemen.
Goodbye, gentlemen.
Goodbye, gentlemen.
Goodbye, gentlemen, indeed. Thank you very much for watching, listening, and being with us. Cheers. Ta-ra.
And that's a podcast.